You had to ask that question in the thumbnail after what happened to the T app. Would you like me to go through the T app? I'm going to go through the. Hell yeah. Let's just do that right now. Okay. Since you asked, FYI, Bob, here we go. Which one is it? Oh, these are the chicks. Hold on. These are the guys. All right. So, yes, I'm aware. You guys didn't think I was going to do this. I am. These are the guys. These are the thumbnails of the guys that are on the new T app. And I keep seeing this T app going over and over. There used to be another app, and I want to say it was called like Eve, or there was another app that was very similar to this. There's also a website or a forum called Don't Date Him Girl. So the thing about this is that gets me about the whole app thing. It's been done before. Why are we like panicking about this? You know why we're panicking? Because we haven't heard about it in a while. There was a forum called Don't Date Him Girl, or Are We Dating the Same Guy? And all it was pretty much the same thing that the app is doing here. And everybody's losing their shit over it. And I'm like, why are you losing your shit on this? Because it's just the same thing that has been going on for a while. What was the other one? There was another app, and I don't know how long it lasted, but I remember there was an app that was similar to this. I want to say, gosh, it was back in the Pat Campbell days. It must have been like 2018, I think. There was another app that was very similar to this. So I thought probably that I didn't pay this much mind because people started losing their shit over it. And I'm like, well, isn't this the same app we've been talking about for a while now? And I guess it's not. And maybe if you know something about this that I don't, please chime in. I'll be happy to read your comment. But apparently there's been a leak, and it's not the most secure app in the world, ladies. So you might want to think twice if you're going to use this app. But anyways, these are the thumbnails of the guys that the ladies want to run up the flagpole, right? And is he a quality dude? Is he somebody I could vouch for? Blah, blah, blah. Well, just by the nature of the app itself, like tea, like spilling the tea, like the whole thing about it is, unless that's an acronym of some sorts. But these guys don't look with the exception of a notable few, these guys don't look maladjusted. They don't look like necessarily bad dudes. Now, it might be that the thumbnails of these guys were selectively picked, but what's this guy in the red down here? A few of them look a little bit like whack, but the other dudes aren't that, they don't look that bad. So these are the dudes, and then again, I'm just going by looks here, obviously, but they don't look like malcontents, right? They don't look like riffraff, but these women look like riffraff, okay? These are the women doing the rating, okay? So explain to me, red pill hater guy, the red pill critics who think that the red pill is ruining relationships. Explain to me why these ladies would participate in an app that would run these guys up the flagpole. If there weren't some kind of truth to what the red pill's been saying. And you guys already know where I'm going to go with this. And I think a lot of people would like me to get back to the nuts and bolts kind of stuff. And I'm going to clarify terms here in just a second, but be that as it may. These are the dudes, and these are the leaked pictures or the leaked thumbnails of the chicks that are on there now. These chicks did not like the fact that this was made public, and I'm making it even more public. I don't know who these people are, but when you signed up for the app, that's on you, bitch. So putting these things out there is it's part of me, let's say, afflicting the comfortable and comforting the afflicted. Okay, so the ladies on here don't look like any great catches themselves, and I would almost be a little bit weirded out by a few of these. In fact, okay. So let's go line by line. Okay, so let's go with line 1. There are no attractive women on that one. Line 2, no attractive faces as far as I can tell. Line 3. There's a big old forehead in that one. No, don't look all that hot to me. None of these girls look like girls that you would find on Access Vegas. You never notice that, like, the more homely a girl is, the more problems she has with guys. certainly guys like this. I mean, some of these dudes are not bad looking. I mean, no homo, but like if you look at the guy who is at the top there, and he's the third one in from the right, the guy with the pecs and everything, he looks like he works out. And these bitches are complaining about this dude. The only thing I think that they could be complaining about is the fact that he's not fucking bitches that look like them. So I'm just a little bit curious as to like what the motivations are here. So you're going to tell me that incels and red pill guys are poison. The red pill is poison. No, these bitches are poison, dude. So like, let's be a little bit, you know what kills me is like whenever I bring up anything that is critical or unflattering to female nature, obviously there's always some white knight dude who has to pop. It's not even white knight. They don't even, most of these guys don't even realize they're doing this. But what they do is they say, well, you know, yeah, men do that, but women do that, or women might do that, but men do it too. Well, here's an example of that. Here's a great example of that. But the problem is it's in reverse. And it's like, well, you know, guys, remember how horrible it is to be in the locker room and have like Joe talk to Mike about this one girl, and oh man, I can't believe he would rate her. He would say she's a you know, a HB9 or a HB7 or whatever, or oh, that sounds very like frat boyish. And we will, I think I remember I think it was it might have been the UK or it might have been the United States, I'm not sure, but like there were kids, like guys, like boys as young as like 12, 13, 14 years old, and they kept lists of who was the hottest girls in their class, right? Okay, this is like 10, 12, 13, 14-year-old boys. And we think of, if we find that list, we think that it is it is an indictment on the red pill. It is an indictment. Oh, Andrew Tate told them to keep a list to rate them at 1 to 10. We've been rating women between 1 and 10 for forever. Hell, there was a movie called 10 with Bo Derek in it. You guys don't even remember that 10? It was actually a movie called 10. Where did they get that? 1 to 10, the 1 to 10 scale. And so guys have been doing that for like, men rate women. Let's just be honest. Okay? And why? Because that's the only metric that men have to qualify women is their looks. That's all there is. And it's like so like, ladies, it's so easy. Oh, I don't want to be judged and rated just for my looks. Well, you do the same thing. You're doing it right here. These ladies are doing exactly the same thing. Hell, they made an app. At least the guys did. At least those boys didn't make an app. They just wrote it on a piece of college-ruled notebook paper. You know, they didn't broadcast it. They didn't make it available, other than I guess maybe they're amongst their friends. And then so now we think this is endemic of like bro culture or something like that. What about bitch culture? Bro and bitch culture. The T app. Yeah, that won't last much long. Yeah, that's going away soon. Trust me, because when you look like this and you're rating dudes like this, and then your thumbnails get leaked. Like, I wonder how many of these chicks are married, and they just want to talk shit. It's like their hobby is to, because you know, like it's when it comes to like female intuition and everything. It's just like the reason why the T app is popular. It's popular for the same exact reason that The Bachelor is what, in its 29th or 30th season right now. 30 years, a year is a season a year. Maybe it's less than that. I don't know, but like we're talking close to certainly 20 years of The Bachelor, and you know, The Bachelor Golden Years, The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, Love Island, all this other bullshit, right? The reason why those shows are popular is the same reason why the T app is popular. They just want to talk shit and rate guys, and the reason for that, and I'm going to give you that's in Bolt's time. The reason for that is because women like to rate guys and collectively try to rate guys because they can't rely on their feminine intuition to be 100% accurate all the time. Now, for women, when it comes to assessing the value and assessing the quality of a guy, women have a lot greater criteria for that. So, like, for instance, dude at the top there with his pecs and everything, or dude, a shirtless dude, or even the dude with a cat, for Christ, or two guys with the cats, right? Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Only Mike Sartain can get away with holding cats in his thumbnails, and Mike doesn't do that. So, but the reason why those shows are popular is because it stimulates the want to figure out whether or not a guy is who he says he is. You want to know what, like when I talk about shit tests, like there's two types of shit tests. What are they? Okay. The first one is the active shit test, and then the passive shit test. The active shit test is, or fitness test if you prefer, is the one where women will like try to rib you, or they want to see if you can play the game. They want to know that you can have verbal banter, right? You can play along. Remember when I tell you, like, women want you to, they don't want to be told that they're playing a game. They want you to be a superior player of that game. And so what happens is they will shit test you at the club or at the bar, or when they first meet you, or it could be just a social, like, hell, you could be Bible study, for crying out loud. Women will just give you shit just to see if you can play along, you know, to that you are what you say you are. Are you really the dude that you're presenting yourself? Are you congruent? Are you the guy that are you who you say you are? And the way that women go about that is not by just simply asking you, are you the guy? It's not like a business or like a job interview or a legal proceeding or something like that. Sir, Rollo Tomasi, are you who you say you are? Yes, I swear on this stack of Bibles that I am who I swear on the Lord that I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Like, it doesn't work that way. And women don't want it to work that way. That's why the T app is popular. That's why The Bachelor is popular, because they don't want that. They don't want that. They want you to play the game, because if you can play the game and you have social skills, if you have game period, please go to reignite.com, reignitealpha.com. But if you are a good player of the game, that's all that matters. Like, well, guys will say, well, Rollo, you won the genetic lottery. You have a jawline, blah, blah, blah. You're yoked, whatever. Okay, but that's fine. And that's definitely a force multiplier, but I still have to be able to socialize and be a good, demonstrate social skills. And by the way, those social skills, even especially at my age, they evolve over the course of your life. So if you are like, I'm 57, the social skills I had at 27, not the same ones, but they were well enough that I could get laid on a regular basis. They were well enough that I could carry on a conversation with people who were younger than me or older than me. It's not, social skills aren't just limited to game. They're expansive. You have to use them for your work and just interacting with human beings in general. So the thing is like, what happens is, in our ancestral past, in our evolutionary past, women had to determine whether a guy was who he said he was. And rather than, you couldn't just up and ask, you had to make sure that he was who he says he was, because women want an honest opinion, and they can't get that directly from the guy, and they can't trust their feminine intuition as much as they like to think it's some sort of magical, empathetic, like supernatural powers of empathy. They don't have supernatural powers of anything. And if they did, I should say, they sure as shit wouldn't be bothered to go and ask their girlfriends on a T app whether or not this guy is who he says he is. Basically, the app is just to give guys a bunch of grief. I get that. But eventually, but why? Why is that so consuming for women? Well, because those skills after a while atrophy. The intuition atrophies. It's very enjoyable for women to do that. Women love to play the game. They love to flirt. They love to give shit tests. They love communication. They get a dopamine hit from that communication. That's why women you want to know why women form more social networks than men. Is because they actually take enjoyment. It's a pleasurable experience for women to communicate, because women communicate in a different way than men do. Men communicate, they say what they mean and they mean what they say. It's very information-based. It is content-based communication, which is what I'm doing right now with you. I'm giving you content. I'm giving you information. You can sort out how you feel about that later. That's how men do it, right? It's instinct, reason, and then emotion. For women, it's instinct, emotion, and then reason. And that emotion part that comes after the instinct part, that's where the communication takes place. So when women say, hey, let's go catch up at Starbs and hang out and talk, it's been a long time, girl. We need to catch up, right? And when women communicate, they communicate like this. Hi, how you doing? Oh, yeah, it's been so long. How are the kids? Da, 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 da. You know, oh, are you fucking Joe? Oh, no, you're not. I divorced him. But like, it's a straight ahead. For guys, it's, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Like, you're looking out this way. We're looking at the horizon. We're looking at the vista. We're looking at the TV. We're looking at whatever is going on. We don't, oh, hi, how are you doing? The guys don't make that eye contact thing. And the thing is women think that men are like emotionally stunted or they don't have emotional intelligence as a result of it. Like, emotional intelligence is bullshit to begin with. And it's simply a fad, I should say. It's a psychological fad that women created back in the early 90s, mid 90s, to give veracity to the fact that, or to, I should say, reinforce the idea that they have some sort of emotional superiority over guys. That, oh, well, men might be intelligent when it comes to empirical, logical, reasonable, rational stuff. And they couldn't say that wasn't true. So they had to figure out another way to make themselves feel self-important. And that's how you get emotional intelligence. But they're not emotionally intelligent because society. No, we're built different. Our brains are the architecture of our brains, our synapses, our wiring is literally different. And it happens in the womb. It happens at the molecular level when we are being gestated in the womb. Our brains are not the same. We're not wired the same. We're different freaking animals. We're the same species, but we're certainly different when it comes to, we're more different than we are alike. And the thing that gets me is I remember I used to get run up the flagpole for that. And now I see guys like Steve Stewart Williams, Rob Henderson, and everyone else in between who's in some, hell, even Dr. David Buss, has said this, you can, it's not hard to find. Go on Perplexity, go on ChatGPT. Don't go on Grok. Grok is compromised. I'm going to show you how it's compromised today too. But the reason why women like this kind of shit, right? The reason why they're digging on this stuff is because it stimulates that instinct to try to figure out if these guys are really who they say they are. And these are the women that are doing it. Do these women look like they have been like in the game for any amount of time? Do you think like you might be able to pick out like 3 or 4 that you might say, oh yeah, if I saw her at a club, I might, after 6 beers, I might do it. And these are not healthy women. But the thing is like women always have that same need to know. They want to figure out for themselves. There's nothing that is more self-satisfying to a woman than to think that she's figured out a man or figured out this guy's story based on her mythological feminine intuition. Well, ladies, if you had that, you wouldn't need other women to help you with that. That's why we need social. That's why there is such a thing as social proof and pre-selection. If other bitches want to get with a guy, then he's got pre-selection. These girls want to get with him. I want to get with him too. It's called mate choice copying. But even that, I'm not 100% on board with mate choice copying, but I do think that if a guy is hot and other women think he's hot, it's certainly a force multiplier. Like you can take Danny DeVito and you could say, well, these 10 girls think Danny DeVito is hot and they really want to get with him in the foam cannon party in Cancun and spring break. He's still 4 foot nothing and pot bellied and looks like a little chaos dwarf. Funny as hell. Don't get me wrong. I love you, Daddy, but you're funny. I like you. But let's just be honest here. He wouldn't be turning top shelf pussy if he wasn't Danny DeVito. In fact, is he still married to Rhea Perlman? But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter how many women think him or Chris Farley or Seth Rogen, whoever. Like, you're the guys who are. That's the whole reason why the whole thing about like the dad bods and everything is so patently ridiculous. Is like, it doesn't matter how many women are going to say, I love dad bods, and then they want to get with The Rock. It's not just about social proof. There's other factors involved. Now, definitely a force multiplier. If you're hot and you have pre-selection and you're congruent, you're game on. But there's still a level of physicality and like social skills. You got to be congruent with your look. There's a lot that goes along with that, but that's certainly the entry point is physique for sure. But the reason why women rely on other women for pre-selection or is because they can't rely just solely on that instinct. And why is that such an imperative for them? Because in our ancestral past, if a woman made a mistake about a guy, if they picked the wrong guy, vetted for him or whatever the fuck it is, even if he was the right guy, the guy could still die and she could still be pregnant with his children. She could die because women died in childbirth. They're the vulnerable sex. They still do really need men for protection, provisioning, and parental investment. Those things don't go away. I don't care how many guns you have. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much how educated you are or how ambitious you are. I don't care about those things. The things that make a man attractive don't fucking change. So, but the things that do change sometimes are confounding factors in your attraction to that guy. So the first things first, he's got to be hot. He's got to be at least physically attractive enough for that woman to be interested in him in the first place. And then we can go and add on stuff there. Provisioning, protection, and parental investment. And pretty much every quality that women name after good look, after looking good is a security. It's a long-term security quality. Emotional investment, emotional intelligence. That's all that is just can I relate with this guy? Can I vibe with this guy? Chad is the guy that they have to vibe with, but he still has to be able to play the game. He can't be some gamma male nerd who, he can be good looking and might still want to fuck him even after that. But the thing is like, she's not going to want to get with that guy or stay with that guy because he's incongruent. Or if he's a little bit on the effeminate side, like I keep saying, he's like, guy can look like The Rock, but you put a pink ballet tutu on him, or he starts speaking with a lisp. That's incongruent with what you expect from a guy who looks like that, right? So the attraction kind of goes down. I'm not saying there's a certain baseline where women don't care, right? But that's why it's attractive, and that's why these bitches find it so fascinating. It's their pastime. It's a hobby to talk shit about guys. So it's what's funny to me is it seems like the T app is almost like engagement media for this new generation. It's not enough to just be able to talk around the water cooler about whether or not Brad or Michael or Jamal or whoever is going to be the perfect fit for the Bachelorette. Who's going to get the rose? Who's going to be like, is he really? She's not good. He's not good enough for her. Like that feeling of he's not good enough for her. That's what women want to experience. And they used to. Then before they got married, and before they got fat, before they got ugly, before they got old, they loved that. That's why romance novels are so seductive for women. That's why T app is seductive for women. That's basically the whole thing. It's just basically it's a more engaging, more personalized version of The Bachelor. Easy.